Welcome, everyone who's joining us for another week of the REDX Podcast. This week, we have a very special guest, Jasmine Lopez. Jasmine is a dedicated real estate professional known for her consistency, relationship-first approach, and ability to turn conversations into long-term opportunities. She's built her business by mastering one of the most overlooked yet powerful skills in real estate, follow-up. Through her work, Jasmine has helped clients and prospects feel seen, heard, and supported through their journey, creating a steady pipeline of opportunities driven by trust and persistence rather than by pressure. She's known for her practical, no excuses approach to daily discipline and communication, and her ability to stay top of mind without coming across as pushy or transactional is powerful. Her mission is simple: build meaningful relationships, stay consistent, and let the follow-up do all the heavy lifting. Thanks so much for joining us today, Jasmine. We're excited to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having me. I always love being here, and I'm so excited you invited me back.
Absolutely. All right, guys, Jasmine is with Scaleable. This is a business that she has owned and operated for many years. We are a long-term partnership with them. She provides ISA services. That's kind of the simple of her game. And today, I really just wanted to introduce her and her business so that this is an opportunity for you and your business. There's so many things that people, talk about as far as hiring an ISA. I think people are scared and get held back by compliance things. Maybe they don't have the right expectation. They've tried it before and it didn't work out well for them. Maybe they just tried to hire their own ISA and train them, and that was a fail. So I really today want to talk through who needs an ISA, what it is that you do, and how you support their business. And then let's talk a little bit into your strategy, the expectations, things people really need to understand overall when working with an ISA. As far as who needs an ISA, it could be anybody looking to scale their business. I love that's why you named your business Scalable, because it's like, how do you grow without more support and a different way to convert when you're a one-man show typically before, or maybe a small team of 2 or 3. So let's first talk about who comes to you and what do they need? I mean, I know this could be sometimes new agents, but probably more invested agents in their career are who usually end up with you. But let's talk about that. Who's the ideal agent that comes to you and needs your support?
Yeah, so it's usually agents that have closed like 15 plus units per year, and they're looking to scale. Their goal is to add another 10 every year. They're finding it hard to handle the prospecting at the same time their clients that they're dealing with negotiations and all of that and the paperwork. They're trying to decide also, do I need a virtual assistant or do I need an ISA, right? And so that's also part of what they come to me with, those questions. And at the end of the day, to me, it's always prospecting. If you let go of prospecting today, 90 to 180 days from now, your pipeline will tell you if you were prospecting or not.
I love that. Okay, so these are agents that are already taking a lot of listings compared to the average, decent amount of listings, and they're just looking to take more. So they just need the support through that. Exactly. And then, so when they come to you, generally their background is already in prospecting, or often they've been able to work their sphere so well, and now they're like, I need a new revenue stream as far as leads. Okay.
Exactly. And honestly, sometimes they don't even realize that they come and they're like, listen, I've been so active, referral pipeline, my sphere, it's going, and all of a sudden they look and they're like, wait, I'm so dried up and I don't have nothing, no referrals coming in, and they panic. But yet they have REDX, right? I have a membership to REDX and I haven't been using it to what to the capacity. Like, how can you help me here? And that's where we come in. And I kind of explain how our ISA services work, which is really important for them to understand. Really, yeah, I'll explain the ISA service, but it's really about their pipeline, right? And I go a little bit deep with that, because we will set appointments with sellers from the data that will look to sell 2 years from now, 1 year from now, 6 to 12 months, 3 to 6 months, and that 20% that's looking now. We used to get a lot of agents that would be like, well, how many do you think I can close this month? Because the other company told me they can get me 10 listings a month.
Wow.
I'm like, if you believe that marketing, that is great. So I tend to do a lot of teaching also. Like, look, if a company tells you that you have to train the ISA, that's a red flag. Yeah. We are plug and play. You need a professional on the phone. It's not someone that you need to train. It takes us 6 to 8 weeks to train one ISA. And it takes us over 200 applicants to choose 3 to work for us. And it is not easy, but we do retain them, which is why we're growing with experienced ISA. That's the key, is to have experienced people on the phone. Somebody asked me the other day, do you still train your ISAs? And I was like, me personally, I can't. They are way beyond me at this point. It's been 8 years of this. Like, I tried to role play one time, and the ISA was like, Miss Jasmine, you stopped too soon. I was like, oh, okay. I stopped at that point. So, yeah.
Okay, so you just touched on one thing that I think is really important to talk about. So people come to you and don't have expectations in general, maybe because they've never prospected, maybe because they've had a REDX account for years but never fully utilized it, and have maybe only picked up the phone in January when it's expired season, or the summer when people list FSBOs. So let's talk about the expectation with data. Now, we know this game, especially with a lot of TCPA compliance. The good phone numbers are on the do not call list. So if we're being compliant, we're excluding those. Let's talk about what a correct expectation is going into this. If you're being compliant, what does that look like?
Yeah, so we're going into the REDX system. We're looking intentionally at the locations that they service. Mm-hmm. We also look deeper into the zip codes that are meaningful to them. We look at the process of their recent listing or their recent closing, and inviting people to open houses using that data, asking if they're interested in a market valuation. We really take a look at the data intentionally. We don't want to be calling zip codes that are an hour or 2 hour drive for the agent if they're willing to do so. So the data is really important. I always say that's the starting point. Like, you have to have your REDX account, point blank, if you want to grow your business. That's where you start. And then from there, we create the strategy. And so we help them with what zones, what locations, what zip codes, what are we saying on the phones? What's the schedule look like Monday through Friday? And there's not just one ISA on this account. There's 7 people on your team that are being plugged in. So a lot of them think, oh, I'm just coming to Scaleable for an ISA. It would never work, promise you, because we get agents that come from other places. I hired an ISA and oh my gosh, it was horrible. I didn't get one appointment. We understand, because there's strategy, there's training, there's quality. You got to listen to these people every day, not just when a call went bad. You got to listen to their call drop rate. What are they saying the first 3 seconds? If it's not what we trained you, go to coaching. Like, it's consistency, right? But then you also have to make sure that these ISAs are being treated well in return. So we also work with our agents to make sure that as they're booking these quality, calls and conversations, that the agent feels grateful and communicates that back. When they get listings, we get our bonuses from $50 to $200 from some agents for these ISAs. So it's a process. And I have a background in, I'm a black belt in Six Sigma, if some people are familiar. Cool. And I'm very process oriented, so the one thing agents say about working with us is, like, from the beginning, from the data all the way through to the follow-up and the nurturing, it's a very efficient, lean process.
That's why you've been so successful. The process is what sells. And then, like you said, the details, they're so important for people to understand all that goes into this. This is not you being hired and a random person picking up the phone and making a phone call on behalf of an agent. There are so many pieces to this puzzle that have to be curated and very precise and calculated in the strategy in order for success to happen. I do want to talk for a second, the data is great. And then I know people come to you with an incredible sphere already existing. Maybe they prospected for a long time and they're like, I've shifted my business and now I'm coming back. Whatever the reasons are. A lot of times what we do is, we start working together, or someone comes to you and you send them to REDX. And then we realize there's this hole, especially in certain markets, where you call and you're like, hey, we need to talk about a specific market where we're not having as great success rate. Everyone's on the do not call list. Maybe it feels like the expectation is wrong here, because the expectation is that the data feels like it's not correct. But really what we're doing is we're missing huge opportunity for the hand raise for all of these people on the do not call list. And so that's where REDX always comes in and supports you guys so well. So I want to speak to that for a second. The platform, the way that we can, dial in and run ads. And I know that's something you guys can do on behalf of some of your clients as well. But on the front end, to get the people to opt in, to get the hand raise, you can use Ad Builder in order to target this data first before an ISA calls so that there's a warm up. We're getting them to opt in. They've already opted into some of these funnels and things that we've set up, help you set up so that people say, I'm actually interested in hearing from you and your team. And so then that person can get dropped into a completely different space in your funnel that now you wouldn't have been able to target them on the phone before with an ISA, and now you can. Because like Jasmine said, these people are maybe not ready tomorrow to list their home, but they might be in 3 or 6 months. And so we just need to make sure that they're in our pipeline for follow-up so that your ISA is ready. So whether it's postcards or running ads on social and targeting just brand awareness in conjunction to your calls with open houses and stuff like that, there's so many other tools inside the platform that you can use the data for. And I think people miss those opportunities leading up so that you really are fueling your ISA. And there's a lot of opportunity there for the data that you really can't call unless they raise their hand. So I think that's so important too, for people to understand there is sometimes a process ahead of the ISA that you guys can help with some of that, but also just you can do on your own as well to lead up and then get some opt-in there.
It's really important that the agents understand that the data can be used for marketing. And it takes in marketing at least 7 times before somebody makes a decision to work with you. So this is when you start to shift the data into marketing, that's the long-term game. And that's okay, because at the end of the day, you're paying less for that lead than you would if you went to pay a company, right? So any company that does sales, whether it's me, Salesforce, or REDX, we all have to have a pipeline. We all have to do marketing. But if you're running your business as a business and not a hobby or a job, you're gonna have to have a marketing department. And in that marketing department, you pull the data, you throw it into a custom audience, you run that brand awareness campaign, or you run that, click to call me or send me a message. And what we should be doing first is adding value. We also use your data. When they send the mailers out, we call to make sure they receive the mailer. It's never coming across like a cold call. It's really coming across like, hey, we just wanted you to put a face to, a voice to the face you saw on the postcard, wondering if you're interested in a home valuation. Because, by the way, we have an open house a few blocks away from you on Sunday and love to invite you also, or any friends that are in the market. It's that easy to use that data for different purposes. But a lot of the clients that we see, they're afraid, right? It's not that a knowledge deficit, really. They really don't know how to use the data for that marketing piece, and it's so important because you got to touch these people and be omnipresent, right? Even using social, right? After you get that list, if you have a VA, you can have that VA go look these people up on social media, right? Follow them with your account. There's so many pieces to this puzzle that's why I always say it starts with the data. That's first. And then you create your whole marketing strategy, your calling strategy and prospecting, your open house strategy, your event strategy. We have an agent right now using the Geo Leads to invite people to their ice cream social in June. He has one strategy of those that are going to be around the location, and we're just cold calling and inviting. And then we have another strategy of calling her sphere, her database, but also inviting a +1 so she can expand her database sphere. She already has a built there, right? So it starts with the data. The rest just has to be strategized. And that's why I think we do well is we don't just call. We have a strategist to help do all of the other things.
I love that. You're definitely an expert in your field. So I love that you've seen such success with that, which is the reason you are where you are this many years into your business. I've been with REDX for almost 10 years at this point, and you were one of my first really solid conversations where I was able to make a partnership for our organization that I remember thinking she knows what she's doing. She's got this down. It wasn't, I have a lot of affiliates and partners come to me and they're very niche of a niche of a niche, niche of a niche of a niche. But you really encompass the entire process because you understood it. Even though I think at that time you were just meeting one need with starting with the ISA, that was kind of the beauty of it, is being able to see your business grow and really help agents scale through Scalable, and grow long term. I know that you've had clients that have been with you the whole journey. So it's special that we've also shared some of those clients with you. So Jasmine, is there anything we missed that you feel is very important to hit on the ISA topic, other than that they need to reach out to you and see how they can plug and play you into their current business model? I know you support individual agents. I know you support large teams. Tell me the best way for them to reach out to you and get connected.
Yeah. So one point before I give the contact, I want agents to understand that, again, it starts with the data and we work it. But after that, the conversion is really important, and how you convert based on lead type. That's where we're going if you want to be competitive, right? You can't send the same templated email to every person in your database. You have to create an email for FSBOs, for expireds, for pre-foreclosures, and for rent by owners, and circle prospecting. If you can begin to stratify your data and be intentional, you have AI now. It's easy. Have them create it, right? But be intentional and consistent follow-up. In sales, in any game, the kill is in the follow-up. And if you're not following up, they say on average, an agent loses $600,000 a year in GCI by letting leads fall through the cracks.
Wow. I believe it. We get overwhelmed with the small details that don't necessarily make us money. Distractions. I get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Jasmine, thank you for that one tidbit. Tell us how everyone can reach out to you, and then, Yeah.
So we are scalable -usa.com, our website. And then my email is jasmine@scalable-usa.com. We also have an info email at scalable-usa.com. We have a Scalable Instagram, and I'm also on Facebook as JAY Lopez.
Okay. Jasmine, thank you so much for joining us today. This was wonderful. I think this is kind of part one of maybe a couple podcasts that we could do together. I really want to dive in deeper to what you do outside of the ISA side. So yeah, I think we should schedule something for in a few months to kind of do some follow-up. But thank you again for your time. Thank you for being so precise and intentional with the points that you hit and what's so important. I look forward to having you on next time.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thanks, Jasmine.